truths I tried to tell you were as distant to you as the moon. Born 200 years too late and 200 years too soon.
Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds are an Australian band who were formed in 1983 out of the ashes of a band called The Birthday Party, who are listed as a post-punk band. They are led, so this is the Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds now, led by Nick Cave, fairly obviously, who's a singer and songwriter who writes and sings songs about grotesque things generally, violence, murder, sex, dark stories. There's very much a gothic story element to their music. They're still going. They've had a fair number of change of members, but it's been quite a while, to be honest, and they have released 18 albums thus far, including one in this year as I record this. Hey, my name's Dan, and this is a review of Kicking Against the Pricks, which is an album by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. It was their third studio album, and it's my first encounter with this album, although I have obviously come across Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds before, I've reviewed some of their albums before, in fact. So this is unusual for them in that it's an album of cover songs. It's a bizarre collection in some ways. But the overall themes here of death and darkness and things going wrong and darker side of life, which is a very much the Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds corner of the rock world, is definitely maintained here. So there's a variety of different feels from kind of slow and dark and fairly empty with kind of twangy guitar, reminiscent of the song that I think is one of the most iconic Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds songs is Red Right Hand, which was featured in one of some scary film or other, which is a great song and is kind of the iconic sound of theirs. Some of them are like that. Some of them are more full, the strings at various points, and some of them are a bit more kind of rocked up. But so quite a variety of feels, but all of it still has this kind of dark, gothic kind of darkness to it. Let's go through some of what the tracks are here. I'm not going to do all of them. There's a Tom Jones track, not that he wrote it, but he originally recorded it. There's Hey Joe, which is a Jimi Hendrix track again, not written by him. There's tracks written by Johnny Cash, Johnny Hooker, Lou Reed. There's Something's Got and Hold of My Heart, which was recorded by Gene Pitney. There's also a traditional gospel song called Jesus Met the Woman at the Well, which is done in a vocal, I think it's entirely a cappella style. It's probably my favourite track on the album, to be honest. So there's, as I said, various different feels. The jangly guitar, threatening kind of rhythm section. Some of them are quite echoey and distant. Everything's quite emotive. Again, that's a very much of a Nick Cave thing. Hey Joe I have to say, is awful. It's probably my least favourite version of it. I like the song, but I don't like this version of it. It's just way too echoey and some strange and irritating noises go on for me in it. So normally I'd say that the high point or the focal point of a Nick Cave album is the songwriting, but obviously that isn't the case here because different people have written these songs. So the kind of quality of what we get here is obviously the quality of the songs as they've been written by other people. There's the choice of songs, which I found quite engaging. There's the arrangements, which I found mixed. There's the vocal performance, which is strong. Nick Cave is always good. He's emotive and threatening, and it suits the kind of stuff that he does. My overall impression is not bad, but to say I'm sorry that comparing it with albums of their originals is not as strong. I don't really like comparing albums with other albums by the same artist, but I think in this case I am doing it, obviously, so I'm going to get away with it. So a bit muted feel. There's some reasonable stuff here, but I probably wouldn't choose this to listen to out of the Nick Cave albums that I've come across. It's possibly the weakest one that I know so far. So that's what I think. As always, I'd love to know what you think, so please let me know by leaving me a comment. That's it from me for now.
Hey Joe, when